so I'm just waiting to get picked up by Billy. We're gonna head up to mile 342, the McDonald's at the Cajon Pass. We're gonna hike southbound back to mile 151. After we got dropped off at the McDonald's, we walked down the road to rejoin the trail. It was super windy and a little drizzly when we got started. There is a long history surrounding the Cajon Pass, both with the railroad as well as the Mormon settlers in the area. The Cajon Pass was also used by Native Americans for thousands of years. The first European crossed it in the late 1700s. Two dudes did find gold here once in the hoof of their mule. They spent 5 months mining in the area and found nothing. And then one day they found it when their mule was limping. Bush poppies are native plants that often grow in the foothills in the transverse range here and actually do well after a fire. So many people, myself included, we jumped up to Tehachapi and started hiking southbound after Paradise Valley Cafe. The San Jacinto area was closed and was covered in so much snow it was nearly impassable. So I'll tell you what we're doing next, and maybe it's something you might want to consider. We hiked all the way back down from Tehachapi to Acton, mile 444. We took a few days off at home and we ended up jumping back on the trail after the San Gabriel range. So we jumped on at mile 342, the McDonald's at the Cajon Pass. So what we're doing now is we're gonna hike southbound and we're gonna reconnect our steps and we're gonna end back up at Paradise Valley Cafe. The Cajon Pass divides the San Bernardino and the San Gabriel mountain range. They are actually separated by the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault runs about 750 miles through California. It forms the tectonic boundary between the Pacific and North American plate. Cobwebby thistle is a host plant to the painted lady butterfly. The wind got pretty intense through this section. So today's been pretty good hiking so far. There's a little bit of a climb up out of the McDonald's area at the Cajon Pass, but the wind has really been the biggest challenge today. I'd say it's 20 to 30 miles an hour, and some sections that we've been getting gusts up to probably 60 miles an hour. So yeah, pretty gusty today.
A little gusty out there today, wasn't it, comrades?
We set up down in this little valley. The clouds seem to be avoiding us for the most part. Guys, check out what I've been cold soaking all day since we've been dropped off for dinner. So, you know, it takes a little while to get it ready in perfect condition, but I mean, when it's ready, it's fantastic. Follow me for more recipes. We had a great night's sleep and woke up with a light coating of frost on everything. We're just about to get started and it's 10 a.m. We only hiked 7 miles yesterday, but we got into camp early, we relaxed, we stretched. This morning we woke up, had coffee, hung out with some of our friends that were also going southbound through here, and then we did about 30 minutes of yoga. So we're just really trying to enjoy this campsite while we have it. Almost had tumble number 2. So this whole area has so much camping for tents. It's listed like 3 little spots in far out, but there's probably room to fit 40 people here. So I think this plant's called fernleaf biscuit root, and if you kind of look on the flower there with the leaves, it kind of looks like the bottom of a fern. I don't know if that's why it's named it. There were a lot of different bugs pollinating these plants. Silverwood Lake plays a major part in the Southern California life of many people. It's a reservoir that holds tons of water. I believe it's about 165, 167 feet deep at its deepest point, and people love to come here and fish. I've probably fished at this lake more than 100 times. There's a ton of striped bass, largemouth bass, and all kinds of other fish you can go after. This was the third or fourth time that I've been recognized today from people who've already seen the videos. And it's incredibly touching to think that so many people have watched my videos and have been, following along and part of this journey. So, I really appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to watch this. Woohoo! Silverwood Lake! Like other paintbrushes, it's a hemiparasite and uses Hostora to actually infiltrate other plants and grab some nutrients. First snake of the trip, guys. If anybody can identify and let us know which type this is, we would really appreciate it. So you're not allowed to camp anywhere you want on the Silverwood Lake section, but I know there's a few bushes and a few spots where people have gotten away with it. Do it at your own risk. That dam was a super sweet spot to go camp at and hike and fish over there. But unfortunately, a lot of homeless people were trashing the spot, and so they ended up closing down that whole section. So you're not allowed to go over there and fish anymore. Caught a lot of catfish over there. After you get through the lake area, there's a little bit of a road walk. You end up going near this power plant. This is actually pretty cool. I'll zoom in and you can pause it if you'd like to read it. Okay. We had a pretty long day hiking getting through the lake section. We ended up getting to camp just after the sunset. The first place we tried was full, so we went to the second spot. We ended up having a great view, woke up to a beautiful sunrise and a nice cup of coffee. And so far today, the star of the show has really been the bush poppies. This is now the fourth shooting area that we've walked through. So we've heard from about 10 different people today saying to go check out the Joshua Tree Inn and grab a sandwich there. They said it was really good, so I think that's gonna be the plan. So we called the Joshua Tree Inn and they came and picked us up from the crossing at Highway 173. It was a cool little spot with both canned and bottled beers that you could pick up. They just put in this little deli section to make the sandwiches in the corner, and there's outlets for hikers to use to charge up their stuff. When we finished up, they gave us a ride back to the trailhead. We're gonna have to wade or swim across this river. I guess we know not to end up in there. We got some viewers across the stream gonna watch us cross. They recognize me. There was a sandbar in the middle of the river, and that's what I was aiming for. But as you go to walk upstream, you really start to feel how strong the flow of the water is. After we made it across, we took a few minutes to dry off and relax, and we watched a few other people cross. We saw some locals coming out of here with their skateboards. Looks like a pretty gnarly place to go. This section had some of the most beautiful California bluebells.
There's a new pet.
Tia.
Yeah, not a bad view from the tent tonight. For dinner, we packed out a pastrami sandwich. We ended up having a great night's sleep and a beautiful sunrise from our tent. You know, hills never come out steep in videos, but man, we camped down there last night and it was a pretty good climb to get back up to the trail this morning. Couple blowdowns right before the hot springs heading Sobo. Looks like someone was smited off the trail. And we made it all the way to the hot springs. We had a great time at the hot springs. We enjoyed soaking in the hot tub. It was so hot, we actually had to get out and cool off a few times. We met Pumpkin, class of 2016, and he was doing some trail magic. And don't worry guys, I kept my hat on because I didn't want to sunburn.